Good afternoon, Stitch Roadies. Well, this little roadie here is just back from Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. And I'm here to tell you that I am still riding on the high. I'm not quite sure how Janine of Acorns and Threads will top this year. That's the thing about these events, is it seems like they get better and better and better. But first of all, let me just say this is a YouTube floss tube about cross stitch. So if you're new here, don't be frightened away. Give cross stitch a chance. It is a lifesaver for me in terms of calming my world down. There's nothing like fixating on just making an X to make life seem better. Anywho, we had a fabulous time. This was an event that ran Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We checked in, Cheryl and I, stitching with the Sisterlies and Colleen. Yes, I had both sisters. We shared a room. I also picked up Chris Yo, who is As the Yo Flies Etsy shop from the airport, and I was her Uber driver to and from the Stitch Summit. So there was lots of, these events are ways that you connect with brand new friends and you reconnect with those people you haven't seen in a while. And then there's the regulars, you know those regulars. So there's no words to say how an event like this can fill one's heart. Just fill one's heart, because when you're cross-stitching, when you're talking designs, it's all good. It's all good. And Janine has done such a fabulous job with this has been, she's built a relationship with them. So there's, they take care of us, there's food, there's desserts, there's drinks, and they even provided us with football players. I know you'll see it all over the place, and if you go to Stitchy Witch 42, definitely, you'll definitely be seeing something about them. So what happened was, everyone comes in from all over the place. Some people fly in, some people drive in, some people are local that drive home at night, and there are those of us who are local that don't want to drive home at night. And so we make all kinds of reservations or decisions about how we're going to enjoy the Stitch Summit. And then there's the whole group of people that are on Zoom. And Tasha and does a great job with organizing that Zoom. And Tracy of Ink Circles was there as technical support. And with a little help, I was able to jump on and off the Zoom and talk with the Zoom people also. I like Zoom. I'm definitely a Zoom groupie. There's something about being in your PJs, having your snacks, sitting in your own chair with your own stuff all around you that's very, very appealing and works. And I do Zoom fairly regularly, especially with Margaret through Acorns and Threads. But I really do love this in-person Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. It is one of those that runs like just ticking away. What happened this last 3 days, because it runs from Friday, starting at like 10 in the morning, and goes till Sunday about lunchtime. We went Thursday night so that we could be rested up and cheer each other on and get excited about it. We checked in the hotel Thursday night. There was, I think, about 150 attendees in person. And then the designers were Beth Twist and Teresa Kogut. And the night before, we had a little gathering here at my house that was Cheryl and her husband, and Teresa and her husband, and then G and I, and Chris, Chris Yo. It's kind of like that icing on the cake. You know, when you like a designer, and I am definitely a Teresa Kogut fan, when you get to know them personally, it just adds this additional layer to your cross stitch. I don't know how better to explain it than to know them is to love them. And Teresa's husband, Kevin, is just awesome. So we hung out here, and we finally, us stitchers ended up hanging out up here in the beehive for the evening while the boys were downstairs talking fish and trees. I think that's what they were talking about. And it was a way to start my retreat weekend, and just with like this awesome high. But having Chris come, I know I'm trying to think through. I am talking slower than usual because I'm trying to remember everything. Because unlike some people who are more organized and write things down, I do not. I am flying by the seat of my pants. Yes. But Chris brought some wonderful, wonderful things. And the first thing I have to show you is that she made this folder for me. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And it has a Velcro opening, and then here we go. And then on the back, I have that. She is an artisan, and I will link her Etsy shop in the drop-down box because she's the floss bling queen, for one thing. But I have many of her project bags. If you remember, well, this was one of her project bags that I purchased. I just love this old fabric, you know, so I've been a fan. And then she gave this, see, these are what floss blings are, because keep calm, stitch on. Because the way I do my floss is that I use floss away bags, and I have them on a floss bling because that's what I like. But you have to see what she made for G. I mean, we were both blown away. G and I were both blown away. She made this wall hanging. Music in the key of G. And those are buttons that she put on the different guitar necks. And what was really so heartwarming was that G could tell you, I can't repeat what he said because I don't know this kind of stuff, but by the shape of these guitar, whatever this part of the guitar is called, he could tell what kind of guitar it was, whether it was a Fender or I don't know, all the different types of guitars. And he was so moved by this. And this will be hanging in the music room. But that was just so awesome. Such an awesome surprise. We were given So first of all, the table that we sat at was, let me see, I'll start with me and go around the table. Me, Cheryl, stitching with the Sisterlies, Colleen, stitching with the Sisterlies, our friend Jenny, who lives down in Eugene. Let's see, I'm looking at across there's Audrey and Thing, and there was someone in between. Who was in between? I feel awful that I can't remember who was in between. I'm just going to look at a picture, if there's a picture of who was in between. Yeah, and then there was Gigi, the artsy housewife, and that was like, oh my gosh, it was so amazing to be able to meet her. Beth Twisted told me that she was coming and to save her a seat, and so we did. And to be able to hear her story just kind of blew me away. I was already a fan because Robin, Lady Robin S., if you know that floss tube, she and I have, of course she's probably much further ahead, did Beach Rat. We're stitching Beach Rat, which is by the Artsy Housewife. But I didn't really know about her. She is absolutely lovely. And I have several of her patterns because I've got the one with the owl and the one with the bear, you know. But when you meet a designer that you're a fan of, it makes you even more of a fan because you know them on this personal level. And she is absolutely lovely. She is a fine artist. I mean, she studied studio art and only got into cross-stitch designing like barely 3 years ago. It blew me away because, well, I don't know why it would blow me away. An artist sees things differently than the rest of us. And I love her artwork. So I know I have many of hers in the queue. And the really exciting part of this is on Sunday, Janine announced that she would be the designer for 2025. Yes, I will be there. She and Avonlea, which does well, we'll talk about it at another date. But that was exciting to hear. I don't really even have a picture of my Chris. Chris was sitting at the table. Don't tell Chris. Who was that was sitting across next to Audrey? It was Chris. Chris Yo, as he applied, didn't I? Okay. Anywho, so we were given the, once everybody was sat down in the tables and everybody had, there were some tables that traveled together, they all knew each other. There were other tables of people who were brave and were meeting their table mates for the first time. And there was a snack table set up by the hotel. There was a brag table that was set up where you could bring in things that you had finished. There was a table of giveaway freebies that people brought from their sewing room or their stitching rooms. And there was also a table where Michelle Bendy from Bendy Stitches set up a donation table where she brought so many beautiful things, and it was, you could choose something and donate however much you wanted, and that would help pay for a surgery for the surgeons that she supports that go to the Dominican Republic. there was so many things, so many wonderful, wonderful things. And one of the highlights for me also was that there was a whole table of girlfriends from Bend, Oregon, which is on the other side of the mountain. People often ask me, what do I miss Central Oregon? Not really. I mean, it was a beautiful time in my life. I loved living there. I raised my children there. But I am really happy where I'm at. But I do miss my girlfriends. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. And to see a whole group of them having such a good time and coming this way, it was awesome. It was awesome. So, let's see, what else can I tell you? Well, let me get on to the project. So the project was a joint design by Beth Twist and Heartstring Samplery and Teresa Kogut, Creative Whims. And so they each packaged one half of it. And you could either do them separately, or as you will see in the slideshow portion of this YouTube video, you can stitch them continuous into one piece. I was told by more than one person that I needed to stitch, do something for my bestie who moved away from Bend just this month. It was hard. I mean, I encouraged her to make the move because she wanted to. I'm supportive of the move, but it's kind of like your parent left the family home. And I grieve a little bit that she's not, when I pop over to Bend, which I do regularly, I won't be able to see her because she's not there. So this chart, these two charts, can be stitched together, or you can do two separate charts. And you will see in the photograph where they're charted together. And the words go straight across rather than two sentences down below. But distance means so little when someone means so much. And this was Teresa's. And this was Beth's. They are both so lovely. And this beautiful bag here. And the bag that Beth packaged hers in is a recyclable and can be used for vegetables or anything you want. We got the floss and the fabric. The fabric is by Cedar River, and Jody was also an attendee. And I love Cedar River linen, by the way. And this was a 36 count maple bar. And I lucked out because Chris doesn't stitch on linen, so she gave me her chunk. I got 2 chunks of maple bar. Oh, I'm so excited. And the colors are absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And there was note cards. And a floss minder made by Matt Twist, Beth's husband, who came on Sunday and gave us a little presentation about his mill and how he cuts the wood and mills it and carves it and laser does it and all of that stuff to make us so many beautiful products. I also I did a little shopping. So we had an unusual, as you would have seen on Stitchy Witch 42, because she was there for the entire time. The South Dakota Coyotes football team had flown all the way to Portland to play Portland State University. Unfortunately, Portland State University had an outbreak of, I think it was whooping cough or something. Sometimes I wonder, we should not be seeing that big of an outbreak of whooping cough, but irregardless, they couldn't play. So these, now you got to imagine that this whole team of man-child, because they're in college, they're a college football team, but they all look like, at least a lot of them looked like ponderosa pines in height, that they are stuck at a hotel with nothing to do but hang around. I mean, some were playing cards, some were, just talking, some were just sleeping on the table. They didn't get to go anywhere or really do anything. But Margaret and Janine and Audrey, somehow they finagled a little bit, and we're going to give lessons on cross-stitch, which is so funny. We were at the shop doing a little shop hopping, and so they were in all, we'll insert some in the slideshow, some photographs of that experience to teach them a little cross-stitch. And I don't know how Janine's going to top this. I mean, maybe she could get the, she's going to have to figure that one out, because by far this is an epic Pacific Northwest stitch summit. Absolutely epic. But it was nice. And then my sweet, sweet youngest grandson wanted to say hi to me, so my daughter-in-law called, FaceTimed with me, and so I walked him around the cross-stitch room in the atrium, and then one of the players came up and said hi to him, and he kept saying, "Where are you, Nana? Where are you?" Yeah, so it was fun to hear from them, made my day. But that was quite an eventful, yeah, I don't know how Ginny's going to top it. But sitting next to the artsy housewife and getting to know her, and she's absolutely lovely. She gave us all the choice of a chart, and I chose this. I really love the graphicness, and yeah, it's just beautiful. Look at that, it's called Blue Moon. So that is going in my queue sooner than later. I also joined her Patreon. Yeah. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. When you love somebody, you just want to see more of them. And she lives in Texas, so it's not like I'm going to run into her, you know. So I thought, okay, I'll put my toe back into the Patreon page and see. And so I immediately downloaded from the Patreon this sweet little chart. Look at him. Because I got a yard full of those guys. And when I went shopping at Acorns and Threads, I picked up this chart by Teresa Kogut, because of course there's a bunch of beehives in the bottom. I loved this Stacy Nash little pouch, and then the back of it is stitched like that, so I'm going to be stitching that. Brenda Gervais, I love fall most of all, because I love fall most of all. Yes. And then the Anchored Life, because of my beach room. This is by Robin Pickens, Cross Stitch Patterns. And then Crafty Corey, who is Crafty Corey stitches and does the bags and the bling, all that mats and everything for Acorns and Threads. So if you ever call up to place an order, you can ask them what kind of bags, and I have a lot of Crafty Cory bags, and but I couldn't pass up this. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's one of those mats. So here's a place to set my glass. There's a magnet needle minder there, and then this functions as your workspace, plus you can put your floss, twirls on there. And her stitch mat. Yeah, so I had to pick up that one. And then on the last day, they gave us, that by they, I mean Beth Twist and Teresa Kogut, gave us an exclusive design, and it says, exclusive design by Beth Twist and Teresa Kogut for the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit 2024. And it is a biscornu. Absolutely love this. And buttons for it made by Matt Twist. They had a freebie table. I mean, they had 3 freebie tables, let me tell you. And I had to really rein in the gimme, gimme, gimme in me. Mine, mine, mine. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Mine, mine, mine. No, I had to rein that in. But I did pick up 2 freebie patterns because I really thought, oh yeah, I'll make these. This one is a Summer House Stitchworks, Virtue is Bold and Goodness Never Fearful. I thought, yeah, I'm doing that one. And then, because it's some people are already decorating for Halloween around here. I don't know if they're doing that where you live, but this was so cute. And I said, yes, please. Primrose Cottage Stitches. So I picked up those 2 things. The other couple things that I wanted to share with you is I participated in a smalls exchange. You didn't have to. It was totally optional. But if you participated, then you got to pick a small. And this one, yes. Yes, please. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Made by one of my local stitchers, Julie. I am so excited about this. I absolutely love this. And she said she was assisted in finishing this by Jolene, who teaches the finishing classes at Acorns and Threads, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So beautiful. And I was so happy to. And Julie had made for everybody at our table this little pincushion chair. And the reason I wanted to show you this, because I am not showing you every little thing that I was given, because they were all fabulous, and there was a gazillion. And it was like every time you stepped away or you got a surprise. People are so generous and so talented. There's a lot of talented people. But the reason I wanted to show you this is she made a chair for each person at our table. But I am so amazed by the ingenuity of stitchers, because the legs on this are push pins. Now mine are natural wood, but some of the chairs she painted the push pins to match whatever the fabric was. But how clever is that? And then Jennifer, who I stitch with, made these adorable pins, so I decided to put them on Julie's chair. Well, I think that is all I'm going to talk about as far as the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summer. I really think I encourage you to get on the newsletter with Acorns and Threads, because there are announcements all the time of upcoming events, and Janine just goes all out. She goes all out. So that's, next year will be Avonlea and the Artful Housewife. She's absolutely wonderful. I look forward to meeting the designer of Avonlea, and you'll see a picture of all the goodies I got. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. And hopefully I'm going to have to help G figure out those photographs that I took. I don't even know how. Yeah, I need to have a training, a video trainer, kind of like, you know, your personal trainer where you exercise. Maybe there should be a video trainer. I know I'm going to be starting stuff because I can hardly stand it, but life is good. Do it while you can. Yeah. Okay, you all take care, and you know, I love you guys.
Hear me on Zoom, and you can hear me here. Can you hear me here? Yes. Can you hear me on Zoom? Can you hear me now? I'm not going to sell you any phone plans or anything. I'm strictly a cross-stitch pusher. By tables, and what you're going to do is take your small. You're going to pick your small up if you have a small. If you don't have a small, no worries. This is strictly voluntary. You're going to take your small, and you're going to go see Lori. Lori, raise your hand. Stand up. And that's where you're going to check in.
Teresa Kogut. And Teresa is here all the way from Michigan. They flew. When Janine asked us if we would teach together, I was very excited because I love Teresa's designs and her art and have seen her around in the creative world for a long time. Do you want to say anything, how you feel about working with me?
Ditto. No, and this is my first collaboration, so I'm very excited to share this project with you all.
Can Zoom hear us okay, Tasha?
It's okay, they already told
Yes, thumbs up. Okay, good. We have a little jerry-rigged, tiny little Zoom microphone twist-tied onto the main microphone. So Teresa and I had an opportunity last fall when we were both at a retreat at the same time to sit on a big overstuffed couch in a lobby and come up with ideas for what we would do for you all this fall. And we got to talking about how we've become friends across some distance. And I think a lot of you can relate to that in your own life, how you have friends in the cross-stitch world that you don't live in the same community with.
Oh, God. So Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher, she taught me what is it, stab and poke, or whatever that method is. And that was in 2020 in the fall. I went to my first cross-stitch retreat, and I took punch needle. So she taught me to stitch, and I'm like, well, I really want to learn the sewing method. And Teresa Bennett was like 2 people down, and they're like, oh, go watch her. Well, Teresa Bennett's been stitching since she was a little girl, so she's very fast. And my mind was blown. I'm like, I don't know what she's doing. So I ended up learning from Kimberly Jolly because she was doing a video overhead and showing her hands very close, and she was going very slow. Because Teresa said, it will just click in your mind and you'll get it. And that's exactly what happened. So I wanted to learn sewing method on 40 count stitching in hand, and I didn't want to do anything else, so that's how I learned.
So I am married to Matt Twist, who I called Farm Boy because Princess Bride. And we just celebrated 25 years. I know. We're celebrating it by adding on to our house, which is very, very stressful, but it's fun. We thought a few years ago that we'd go somewhere like Costa Rica and, you know, pretend like we were teenagers again, but instead we're adding on. I have 2 kids. My son is 18. He just graduated from high school last year. And my daughter is a junior this year. And they are 2 of the best humans I've ever known. We also have 3 cats and a couple of beehives and chickens. Oh yeah, we have chickens. We have 2 of the best roosters on the face of the earth. We have Hurley, who is this massive big black rooster, and he's got the deep classic crow. And then we have Rocky, who wasn't supposed to be a rooster. He was supposed to be a hen. And not only that, he was supposed to be a regular-sized hen, but he turns out to be one of those little banty roosters. So we have Hurley and Rocky. And so they don't fight because Rocky knows he's never going to win. But it's really funny when Hurley starts crowing, and it's the really deep, you know, majestic rooster crow, and then Rocky's like, it's funny.
What was the first project you remember stitching?
Oh, I guess I already gave that one away. It's the little rocking horse in the gold painted plastic frame. I pull it out and put it on my Christmas tree every year to remember how far I've come.
What drew you to cross stitch?
I like that it's so organized and rhythmic. I think I've tried a lot of other crafts that I like that are more free-flowing, but there's something about, I'm a little bit OCD, and I think it's just the organization of, you know exactly where you're going. There's no second guessing, right? It's just very, but I find the rhythm very soothing.
Left, right.
Yes, okay. So we'll show you once, and then you're gonna all stand up. It doesn't take a whole lot of room. We're just going to make an X with our feet, okay? And our hands. That'll be harder with me with the microphone. So watch Teresa's hands. So think of yourself as if you're standing on your piece of fabric and you're going to make an X. So we're going to go right. No. Yes.
Oh, it's right, left. We were. It's been a long
We
weekend,
have done this so many times, and every time it's wrong.
Won't be on the video.
Okay. So you're going to go from the bottom left to the top right, and also imitate it with your arm. Yep. Okay. Let's do that again.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all getting this? Obviously, we're not getting it. So from bottom left to the top right, step back.
You're gonna make your other.
Okay, that's it. And then you return. Put your hands down. We are the needle. Okay, it's like a waltz, but not. It's like a waltz, but not.
I think we should have had drinks first.
Okay.
Okay.
We're getting it though, right? Okay, let's try it again. Ready?
Let's do it again.
That was pretty good. Okay.
No,
We got it.
we're just doing one stitch.
We're just doing one stitch.
Okay, all right.
One stitch. So everybody stand up. Okay, let's go again. Ready?
Right.
Where one person in the cross-stitch world interviews another person in the cross-stitch world, and in this case, I don't think he ever thought he would be in the cross-stitch world. This is my cute husband, Matt Twist. We just celebrated 25 years. I still like him.
Does he like you?
Does he?
Yes.
met in the corporate world in the coffee industry, which is where he spent 33 years as in the equipment world. But what the equipment world didn't really know was that he's a tree nerd. So I'm just going to hand the microphone over to you and maybe just, yeah.
Hey. So yeah, I like trees. I like to cut them up. But really, just a little bit of background. When Beth and I met, I was in the middle of building our home. It was actually only like halfway done. So she got to be part of that. 28 years with a local Portland company, Boyd Coffee Company. It raised our family. That's where we met. It was a great company to work for. We got bought out in 2018. Everything changed. I started flying to Texas twice a month. It was just crazy. So I had to get out of that. And COVID happened. You all remember what the supply chain was like in COVID, right? Managing a business in that realm was really bad. But then also looking at what could we do with wood and thinking about, I don't want to have to depend on other people to get wood. By the way, we have 25 acres up in the foothills of Mount Hood. Beautiful, completely forested. Oh, if you didn't know, we won Tree Farmer of the Year in Clackamas County in 2012.